My name is Rhapsody and welcome back to Hearthstone Dungeon Runs here in Kobolds and Catacombs. It's time to go on with my next class, Warlock. I love playing Warlock in Dungeon Run. It's so fun. There's so many... This is the thing. The classes that I hate are the ones with only one or two reasonable builds. Like, for example... What's like a really good example of this? Rogue. Like, Bag of Tricks... That doesn't form an actual functional deck. Nor does Assassin doesn't form a functional deck. Those are just flavors for other decks, right? Basically, in Rogue, you have the Thief still doesn't form a functional deck. So you basically just have Jade Lotus, Jade Lotus? Yeah, Jade Lotus. And the Cthulhu. Like, you have those two reasonably viable builds. Whereas, as something completely different like Druid, you have small beasts. You have beasts, beast buff. You have the Cthulhu, obviously, as well. And you have Jade. So those are three examples already. I think there's another one in there as well that is slipping my mind at the moment. But Warlock has so many. You've got small demons, big demons, so that's Little Legion and Dire Demons. You've got Unique, but I don't think anyone plays Unique as a build here. You've got Giants. You've got Blood Sacrifice. Sometimes Giant Blood Sacrifice. You've got a lot. Just a lot of options. I'm just gonna auto my way through this first fight. There's no thinking needed. Like, you can think about this first fight, but it's a waste of time. I've actually been thinking about whether or not I should start the video after the first fight. It's just like 2 minutes. It's basically 2 minutes of introduction. It gives me time to theorize about what I would like to get. I would have really liked to see Scepter of Summoning and go with like a Giants Druid. Giant. Yep, this is my new class, the Druid. It looks a lot like a Warlock, but that's just the beta art. Maybe I go with Crystal Gem or small backpacks and go with Little Legion. Small backpacks, Little Legion.
Not just for backs anymore.
I forgot you have Cthulhu here as well. I'm gonna go for Swarm, but I think I'm gonna regret it because I'm actually not gonna get power in my deck early. Like, Doomguard is gonna close out 100% of my fights until I actually get a reasonable minion in here. Or some ridiculously good low minion in Legion. So, you know, your Flame Tongues and such.
Your soul shall be mine.
It's also worth noting that giving, of any class, giving Druid small backpacks is the least effective. Because I'm already good. I got it, bud. You know what would be a really good combo, though? Oh, okay, so Quest. I know I've done Quest Warlock before, but hear me out. You start with 2 more cards, so it's way easier to fulfill your quest. Because you still have more minions in hand. Like, the whole bad thing about the Warlock quest... God, I keep saying Druid. The bad thing about the Warlock quest has always been you need to draw the cards to discard, and you can't discard your discarding cards, otherwise you will not be able to fulfill the results of your quest, right? It's annoying as it goes on. But I think we can avoid that. That said, I don't think they offer at a very common rate the quests after, like, buckets 1 or 2. Is that lethal? I mean, it's not, but it'll get me within range for my Doomguard. Sure. He'll get 2 more cards. He'll get 4 more cards. Sure. You're more than welcome to, but you might want to consider the fact that you are already dead. I think it'd be kind of nice if at the end of a turn like this, if the enemy knows that they're dead, like, obviously not counting the cards in your hand, just if they're dead on board, if they conceded and had some sort of pithy line. That would be dope as hell. Like Flame Imp is the only one over here that I don't that I do want. I do not want Shogal at all. This is the same thing I just picked up, but I'm gonna take it again. See, because they're all really, really good fundamentals to move, to use rather, in a Swarm deck. It's just like not good yet. Also, doubling my Battlecry would now be strong. Usually in Warlock, doubling your Battlecry is bad because there's a lot of Warlock Battlecries that are specifically negative, and that's the whole point of them. Doomguard, for example, discard 2 random cards from your hand. You don't want to trigger that one twice. You're not getting any more benefit unless you're a discard deck. Guild Recruiter is also going to be ultra lame for me. I don't know why Guild Recruiter actually exists in the Swarm build, because a Swarm build is going to want minions like the Kobold Librarian, like a 1 mana 2/1. So this is a 5 mana 2/4 and 2/1. That's like a super shitty version of a 3 mana 2/3 summons a 1/1. Can't remember it for the life of me. But it's a super shitty version of a thing that already exists. Opponent's probably going to drop down the cut purse this time. Oh, baby? No cut purse? Let me get those 2 daggers to the face. 1 and 2. This also has the benefit of giving me a trash minion on board that I can work with. I was thinking I was going to have to buff the trash minion with the Dark Iron Dwarf in order to get the damage in, but as it turns out, no. It's going to have to be Wind Fury plus Taunt or something, like you're not... Yeah, stealth until your next turn. Perfect. I won't be able to get that minion. I'll tell you what, I'm going to be real sad about it. I can't get to that minion. Boo. Alright, now give me some Little Legion rather than Swarm, please. Horn of Scenarios is horrible for this deck. Archmage Staff could actually be quite good, but I am going to take the Blade of Kel'Dalar because I still want to get the blade with the hilt. I have to try. It's definitely Little Legion here. Blood Fury Potion. I mean, these aren't demons, unfortunately, so Blood Fury Potion is going to be a little harder to hit. I think the Shadow Beast that gets summoned at the end of the Possessed Village's life is a demon. And if it is, we're in a better position. Obviously, the imps from Imp Master are demons, and Doomguard is a demon, and all of the imps from Implosion and the imp from Flame Imp. So we should have a couple reasonable targets to hit with those Blood Fury Potions. It's just this deck has... This deck very, very quickly goes nowhere. I've oftentimes had decks that take a real long time to go nowhere, but this is really, really quick at getting there. Where? Nowhere.
Your soul shall be mine.
Hey, hey! Wanna buy some fungus?
Blade of Kel'Dalar is also going to be really important in this deck because I have no other weapons. So it's not really going to be crowding anything else out. Better than small backpacks, especially for the way this deck is currently running, would have been an upgraded hero power. It resolves.
Too bad. Get it out! Get it out!
I've got to do this because I want the dead possessed villager so that I can hit it with Blood Fury.
Yeah. Yeah.
Really? Alright, you're gonna mull yourself one hand. One card. Mill yourself one card. There we go. Ah, you give me 4 attempts at anything, I'll be fine. Buy a Fungalmancer. Every single time I've seen you burn a card from your top deck, it's been a Fungalmancer. Fuck. If it's a demon now, I'm gonna be real. It's not! Yay! Hey, that's a good pull. I mean, it's a shit pull, because you're supposed to be pulling minions that cost 4. Like, that's when it's at its best. I love the build that is Guild Recruiters in a deck that has the 4 mana 7/7, the Flame Wreath Faceless. And that's the only minion 4 or less that you have, so you just pull those out. A 2/4 with a 7/7 on turn 5. It's really good. It's nice. It's neat. It's not good, but it's neat. You don't really have board clear, like unless you get a 3 damage to 1 target plus 2 damage to all.
Side effects?
Yeah, you did.
No. Trust me.
Sure. Some of my 2 minions on the low side before I drop the Doom Guard. It's dumb. Yeah. I should have killed this first, because I knew I was going to be killing it. So I shouldn't have risked it trying to eat those daggers. Alternatively, I could have just been a little luckier and it would have died to the daggers. 17, we've got 7. Do we have 10 from the rest of our hand? We do not. Okay, then. This could be the kill. It is. Beautiful. All right. Show me your miraculous win condition.
Side effects? No.
That's a living condition.
It's bad. Smell this.
Not the minion wanted hit. This is one of the decks, those decks rather, that's thematic, but not good. I don't know if I've ever lost to Muckmaster.
Trust me.
But you can see at this point that I don't really have a win condition past putting a bunch of shit on the board. Obviously, Swarm. But the stuff that I put on the board isn't actually threatening. Otherwise, I would have already won before I got to the end of my deck. Darkshire Councilman is a win condition now, so... The other ones just totally didn't fit with the way our build was going.
Angriest of kobolds.
I keep facing Want Whisker when I have a low curve deck, which is really frustrating. Because he pulls out, you know, my 2/1 and his 8/8. And I'm like, oh, it's cool, it's fine. I didn't want to win the game anyway. I should actually keep Implosion and Darkshire. Because I have enough of a low curve that I am going to hit my drops regardless, basically. I need to keep some removal. This effectively has charge, so I may as well cast a different minion instead. Okay. And... yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I only got 1 attack on my opponent's turn, so I don't actually have to worry about it. Oh, yikes. Ultra Saw. Okay, we'll drop that there. Hopefully this gets 4. Oh, boy. That's not good. That minion does have to get removed eventually, but I can't be the one to remove it. right. Do they have any taunts in their deck? Do I have to swing to face this turn? No, because my board is going to be swinging to face next turn anyway, so it doesn't matter if they do have a taunt. They do have a taunt as well. It's a Eldritch Dragon. Eldritch Dragon? No, it's a... Damn you. It's a Sleepy Dragon. I said Eldritch Dragon because they pulled out an Eldritch Horror and I read the card at the same time as I was trying to process a thought. Don't think and drive, kids. Draw more cards. Shit, it's Lakari Sacrifice now. And then I just try and go hard into discard. Yep. The thing is, if I don't go for this, I don't have a win condition in this deck. So I have to become a very bad discard build. Basically what I'm going to be holding out for hope. Rather, I'm going to be holding out for a hero, and that hero is going to be the hope that I get the card Cataclysm. 4 mana, destroy all minions, discard your whole hand. Because that... I have to discard the Lakari Sacrifice here. Because that is going to be incredible. Since I have 2 copies of small backpacks, I'll have a handful of cards. So I'm more likely to have Cataclysm, but I'm also more likely to be able to play Cataclysm and just dunk on opponents. Because I'll immediately complete my quest. Of Millhouse Manastorm. I'm more than prepared to face this might. Okay, that goes across. No, Darkshire. That's the perfect card to discard. It doesn't do anything for me. Because I can't play it in this match. Because I don't want to play any spells. The reason that I played the Possessed Villager over the Kobold Librarian there is just because the Possessed Villager is 1 minion that when it dies, give me another minion, so that would be really, really good for my Darkshire Councilman who is now dead. So, you know. Fuck. I mean, just double tap. The double trade here. I really wish that I could just use my buff on my DID. In fact, for that reason, I'm not going to play my DID this turn. Because I actually do want it to have an impact in terms of trading when I use it. See, this whole board does like 10 damage a turn. In fact, it does exactly 10 damage a turn. Okay, how am I gonna compose 8 damage for that? It's 1, 2, 3. Not a fun composition. Guess it's gonna be those. And I do all of this so that I can hit the face for no damage. Gotta have that no damage going on. The worst thing is I'm supremely overdrawn from my opponent. So I really don't know if I'm actually even going to be able to win this one. I'm going to try my best. My absolute daggers. But if we pull this out, it's going to be in spite of everything. Why did that try and do the summon animation twice? Yeah, we're dead. Low rolls! Right. We won that one. We need a Cataclysm. If we do not get a Cataclysm, the results will be absolutely apocalyptic. 2 Soulfires and a Cruel Dynamancers? Probably not enough. Jiraxxus is a win condition. Although Possessed Lackey pulling out Jiraxxus or Void Caller pulling out Jiraxxus would be horrible. I have exactly, what, 4 sources of discard in my deck currently? Darkshield Librarian, well, 4, sorry. 2 sources, 3 discard. That's Doomguard discarding 2, Darkshield Librarian discarding 1, 2 Soulfire discards on top of that, and I only have 5, which still is not going to be enough to complete my quest. But the only way that I really have a challenge against the final boss is to take this discard and then take the next discard and then draw well and discard. Because I don't think against the final boss I'm going to be in a good position.
Your soul shall be mine. Something wicked, Burrow.
Corruption's actually going to be excellent because they make big minions that you can't deal with for a couple turns. But I really don't think that if I... I was going to say something and then I forgot what I was going to say, so... Oh, I really don't think I'm going to survive to, like, turn 9 to play Lord Jiraxxus after playing an early game that does nothing. That, to me, seems a little rough around the edges. As far as plans go. Remove! Damn. That's gonna be removal now, and I'm gonna be mad. Never mind, it's cool. Malx actually goes really good against that board.
I smell blood. I smell blood.
Sure.
God.
Lakari Sacrifice, Cataclysm, win the game. It would be so good! I am so reliant on getting exactly that card right now, though. Slightly depressing. Guess I'm just looking to put down minions that my opponent probably won't attack a 2-1 into.
The land serves me.
This Blade of Keldallar has been ridiculous. Unfortunately... Have I already made my final selection? No, I haven't. I think my final selection is not going to give me the other half of Blade of Keldallar, though. That's just too convenient. I obviously can't attack the Hogger a bunch of times, so instead I'm just going to hit it with Corruption. And then develop only really small minions to board.
Why do you call?
I have a second copy of this as well. It's extremely unfortunate for me.
Shields up.
Not a valid target.
Sure. Not a horrible discard right now. I want to sap up their attacks a bunch so they don't have the ability to go for my Darkshire Councilman much. Because currently Darkshire Councilman is my win condition. Goodbye win condition. Immediately removed as soon as I say that. This is why I don't talk, or rather why I shouldn't. Because it inevitably ends up with crying. So hopeful.
The truth is in here. I got this.
A 4 would have actually been quite good there. That's gonna get evolved, so there's no way I'm getting that minion. Yeah. I was about to say, there's no way that's another Hogger. That's another Hogger. We now lose. Yeah. We can't win this in fatigue. We have no viable win condition left in this deck. It is over! O-E-V-E-R, over. That was a miss attack. I should have gone for the 1-2.
The land serves me.
Would this have been different if I went for Lord Jaraxxus? Because I would still, like, this would be my first turn where playing Lord Jaraxxus is viable. I don't think so. Or at least I don't think it would have been significantly different. I'm obviously going to fight to the bitter end here, but I'm pretty certain the bitter end has already come. Oh, it literally has! Right, 11 damage on board. That'll do it. Well, for the moment, let me just say that my name has been Rhapsody, the name of the game has been Hearthstone, that has been Warlock, trying to tread water. I think if I just went for Scepter of Summoning and the Cthunes that were offered, I would have been completely fine. But I didn't. So that's a thing. For the moment, hopefully you've been enjoying yourselves, and hopefully we will see you next time, Genevieve.